you were like the first glimmer of hope that we've had in 4 or 5 days. So thank you so much for stepping into this. You said this isn't what I do, but we are so appreciative. You're such a blessing to us.
Oh, they love to come and save them. Was that a damsel in distress? Ooh, boy. Hey, shout out to all of our subscribers and members here on the channel. My name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. You remember that woman they called the stroller Karen out in Ohio who happened upon the black family and didn't believe that the man lived there?
Do you live here?
Yeah.
You do?
Papa.
I don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe that.
So what are you doing here?
Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
You remember that tearful apology where she asserted she wasn't racist?
So I want to jump on here because my Facebook is public. And for those of you guys who are telling me that I owe a public apology, one, I will not apologize for making any sort of racist remark. I am the furthest thing from a racist.
And you remember what I had to say about all that, right? I also love the how adamant she was. I will not apologize for doing anything racist. Are you going to apologize at all? You were on their property. You did tell him you didn't believe that he didn't live there. Those things happen. So if you wanted to diffuse there being any racist intent, then at just a bare minimum, you owe them an apology for the inconvenience and the mischaracterization, but you're not even going to do that. So that's looking pretty racist. Now here I am minding my own business, watching Kobe Bryant retrospectives and commenting under Snoop's Instagram, when I get a message from Regina saying, you gotta check this out. This has blown up thanks to Officer Tatum's interview. Now, Officer Tatum is somebody that his name has crossed my desk a time or two before. I haven't seen fit to weigh in, but let's see if he checks all the boxes for a proper right-wing troll. Now let's just go to the last handful of videos here. It looks like we got some trans stuff here with the eyes bugged out. Yeah, Pastor Sewell would be proud of that. Actually, while we're on the topic of Pastor Sewell, here's a Pastor Sewell video. Greatest prayer ever. I bet you enjoyed that, especially Stone Mountain, Georgia. I bet you did. I bet you did enjoy that. The View taking shots at the View. That was illegal Haitian. Okay, got it. So we want to highlight the one illegal Haitian and air him out after, because they haven't suffered enough after the last election cycle. So that was well done. Oh, I see DEI. You definitely can't go 10 videos without mentioning DEI. So he got his DEI quota in there. But I see 1, 2, 3 videos about this very issue. He feels pretty strongly about this one. And then if you scroll back, there's another one. 4 videos about this very issue, man. This gotta be deep. And if you go to the first one, it goes, white woman did nothing wrong, exclamation point. So he's made 4 videos. The very first one, he asserted that the white woman did nothing wrong. So he must know the facts. He also knows apparently Black Mama can't parent. Yeah, you definitely got to call out a Black Mama for not being able to parent. Yeah, that's solid there. I think he missed an opportunity though, because that was his moment to call her ghetto. You know, I don't know why he would put Black Mama can't parent and not just go with ghetto. Like that's what are we doing here? I know this ain't your first rodeo. This ain't your first shoe shuffle, Officer Tatum. Let me, against my better judgment, check out this nonsense.
Do you live here?
Yeah.
You do?
What?
I don't believe that.
I seen it with my own eyes.
That is a Blue Lives Matter That's a Blue Lives Matter flag behind you? Okay. So naturally, you would have opposed the pardoning of the J6. No? Oh, that's different. Got it. Okay. But the riots over the summer of 20, that was anti-police. Gotcha. Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen and ladies, welcome back to another Officer Tatum show. You guys did made me turn into an investigative reporter. You know, normally I just talk and run my mouth about certain things that I'm passionate about. But when I see things on the internet that are grossly unjust, I have to talk about them. And I know you guys have seen the last couple of days I've made videos about Michelle Bishop, who's a young lady that was at the doorstep of what I consider to be a con artist. And she was, in my opinion, honestly afraid because of the behaviors of this guy that lives there. And given the fact that he wanted to be a social justice warrior, in my opinion, and wanted clout and want to make it a race thing when this should have been over a day of.
Okay, so let's just stop us right here. Officer Tatum, what is the proper speed that I'm allowed to drive to my home without it being suspicious? You know, without somebody coming between me and my home and my behavior being sufficiently problematic for them where you would have this reaction? What is the right? Because that's what would be helpful. You are an officer, right? So officer, let us know what is the proper speed we are allowed to drive into our homes once we get to the neighborhood. That's what would be helpful. And apparently, the homeowner wants to be a social justice warrior, but her having businesses and her being in the streets for protection of women, especially out in public and especially for mothers, that's not relevant. That's not relevant. But he wants to be a social justice warrior. Got it.
So like I said in the video that we posted yesterday, or we actually posted it this morning, the video where I further explain why I believe that this gentleman that wanted to go out and, I don't know, in a glory of racial tension, the Jenkins family, you know, I said in the video that I was going to try to contact Michelle and John Bishop, who's the young lady and her husband, and also another person who reached out to me that know him a little more intimately in the business realm. So I mentioned to you guys I would try to reach out to them. Right now, I have Michelle and John ready to give their side of the story.
Now he is I was watching this and I thought he was going to say he reached out to them. I thought he was going to say he reached out. No. I don't want to hear from y'all. I'm going to make my assumptions and I'm going to talk to the one side. I'm going to make my assumptions, talk to the one side. Because you said you want to be an investigative reporter, right? You said you wanted to be an investigative reporter, and what that person would do is contact both sides. I see we're not doing that, so we are far from being an investigative reporter. This is not. This would not be a suitable police investigation. Yeah, I can tell you this right. This is not by the book, Officer Tatum.
But I want to give a brief intro about them, just real quick. It's not that much, and then I'm gonna give them an opportunity to tell the truth about what happened. We all know, ever since I've been a cop and ever since I've been reporting on police stuff, when you see a video online and it seems too juicy, there's always a backstory to it. And in 2025, and I cannot say this enough, in 2025, if somebody's crying racism, it's a big red flag.
That's right, because racism, in fact, doesn't exist, right? Right. So yeah, it would have to be a red flag because racism does not exist, right? Okay, all right. Well, once we are past the basic idea that it's a red flag for somebody to cry racism because, God forbid, there be racism. Well, now we understand that your view on this particular case has been completely nullified by virtue of your own words that because racism was something that was claimed, it cannot be valid by virtue of there being no racism. Now, I'm throwing in that there could be no racism if you have another reason why it's a big red flag for somebody crying racism in 2025, I would love to hear it. But you pretty much just completely kneecapped your own video. Like, I was kind of curious where you was gonna go with this, but he went right where he went right where I thought he was gonna go. That's like my wife being curious where I go at night when I leave home at 11 p.m. and then the next day she see that McDonald's bag in the trash.
The majority of people in America ain't thought about no race. It ain't like it's the first time a black person ever lived anywhere that's of affluence, that have had money before. I mean, what planet are you living on?
The majority of people in America haven't thought about no race. Is this y'all?
It is time to have the largest mass deportation in American history as well. That's not racist. That's not xenophobic. Look at me, people.
How about this? How about this?
The way they talk and their little DEI Shaniqua voices, and it's just very piercing, very irritating sound. They all have the same voice. I'm talking about Kamala Harris, Letitia James, and Fannie Willis. Like, all of the meritless DEI Shaniquas talk the same way. It's very obnoxious the way that they talk.
You literally just posted about DEI, and you had the black mother who didn't know how to parent. So, but the majority of people in America haven't thought about what. Not your audience. I know that.
First of all, Brandon, we have to say thank you. Just so your viewers know, you're the first person that stood up for us. So thank you so much. You were like the first glimmer of hope that we've had in 4 or 5 days. So thank you so much for stepping into this. You said this isn't what I do, but we are so appreciative. You're such a blessing to us.
Oh, they love to come and save them. Was that a damsel in distress? Ooh, boy. Oh, she bringing her husband too? That's okay. I get points for that too.
So the story, this whole thing. So November 19th, I was out with my children. It was just before 6 o'clock in Ohio, not like Arizona. It gets dark really early in the winter. And so my husband is always super protective. And he was like, hey, it's getting dark, get home quick. And so we were finishing our run on the second half of our neighborhood. And we were jogging down the road and it had gotten dark. The sun had gone down. We were trying to run, look at the Christmas lights. And I noticed a truck coming from behind me. And that's all that it was. It was a vehicle approaching from behind me.
Now let's establish this. I like to run. I exercise. I do. But what we are doing here is we are supposed to believe that she is in full protection mode, right? That's what she said. She's in full protection mode as a mama bear out on the mean streets of Ohio. She's in full protection mode, right? So I need to give her that credit. But she chose to go run at night with her children. Okay.
I'm a mom in the street jogging with my little girl and my baby jogger, my little 2-year-old. And I go to the grass, and I've always been told if ever this situation happened, which I never thought it would, to go to the closest house, to act like it's your home. And so that is what I was doing. I went into the grass, started walking up the sidewalk when Michael was continuing to slowly approach. And he started to say things out the window, asking if he could help me. And so I didn't respond. I wasn't talking to him. It was a man in a vehicle. I'm with my children. It's dark.
Okay. So right now, what you're describing is somebody confused why there would be a strange woman and her children in his yard. That is what you are describing to me right now. And let it not go unmentioned the kinds of offenses that has been enabled for people defending their home and how they're able to respond in defending their home and how that has been used to legitimize crimes against black people. But here, he's the wrong one for asking her, can he help her while she's in his yard? Okay. Officer Tatum, we're gonna have to redact some of this footage. Yeah, it's not looking. We're gonna have to cover up. So we're gonna have to burn some of this footage.
So I told my daughter, hey, turn here, act like, go up this driveway, don't look behind you, just walk, pretend this is your house. And so we're walking up the driveway. And at that point, we decided to go to the front porch to just knock on the door, see if somebody's there, ring the doorbell. And when I get on the doorbell or get on the porch and I ring the doorbell, nobody's answering. And at that point, I am absolutely just in mom mode. I'm just doing what I think any mom would do to protect their children.
Be at home. Be at home. I'm thinking. Be at home. Oh, you saying? Oh, what you're doing? What any mom would do to protect her children after she decided to run at night with her children. Okay, I got it.
I start to unbuckle my son, and I ask the man in the truck, he's still in the truck, I say to him, is this your home? And he said, yes. And at this point, there was nothing that you could say to me to make me believe anything. I was in protective mode. I was in mom mode, challenging it. I said, I don't believe that. And so I grabbed my kids. I told my daughter to run, and I ran for my life. Literally, you can hear it. Showing up at a woman's house where I was calling the police just to let them know of where I was.
Okay, so what we have established from her own admission is that she went up to his porch after he asked her, could he help her? And she ignored him. Then when he told her that he lived there, she said, I don't believe you, and goes running off the porch screaming for help. Something that we saw in the footage. And then also calls police. That's what we have established from what she said. But Officer Tatum has her on to explain how she is the victim. That is not how police actually, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. This actually tracks. That's the sad part. That is the sad part.
My husband came and we went to get the stroller because I had left it in the front yard. And it was at that moment that the wife stepped out onto the porch. And it was that moment when I realized that it was a Black family. My husband even said to me, that's a Black family that lives there. He said, are you sure it wasn't? He said, are you sure it wasn't? How'd you say it? You said,
careful. Careful. How was it that you said that again? I said, you sure it wasn't them jungle?
So when we went to that neighbor's house where Michelle ran to, I'm watching her on my phone, by the way. Like, I have her location. I'm like, it's getting dark. I'm going to watch her, right? So when she stopped, I'm like, why is she stopped right there? I'm already on alert. As I'm staring at it, she calls me. And I'm like, I'm going to get over there. Mm-hmm. So I get over there, and they're standing out there. She's like, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I called the police off, whatever. And I said, where was it? And she's like, that house right there. And I was like, well, I know that person. I mean, I've seen him in the neighborhood, seen him walking around, seen him at a buddy's birthday party. He's known here in the neighborhood, in the community.
Not by your wife. Not by your wife, apparently. So somehow, and this would be Officer Tatum, this would be a moment for you to go into investigative mode as a whole right here, because he is saying that this is somebody that everybody in the neighborhood knows, but yet his wife was so estranged to him and his wife that this was how she reacted. I
was like, was it a Black guy? She's like, no, it was a white guy. And the lady that was also there, she was like, yeah, she said he was a white guy.
yes.
So go ahead.
So I told the woman, and then again, John asked me, are you sure it wasn't a Black dude? I know the man that lives there. And I said, no, I do believe it was a young white man. So I went back to the house. That was the first time they stepped out on the porch, and I realized it was in fact a Black family. And he came out, and I heard his voice, and it was him. And I made 2 apologies right then and there. I felt very stupid. You could see it in the video. I said, I'm so sorry. I said, in my mind, I was even thinking maybe this could be his house. But in that moment, I was in complete protector mode.
Yeah, there we go with protector mode. She's leaning hard into the protector mode. She's leaning very hard into protect mode. Now, I will say this. She did apologize the night that all of this occurred. And I will also say that it feels, I will ask the question that I asked in my initial video. What were the reasons that you didn't believe him? If not for it being racial? What were the reasons for you not believing it? What were the reasons you felt so threatened in that moment? Right? Because apparently you are accustomed to this environment at night with your children, because this is where you chose to put yourself. So apparently this is something that you are familiar with, or else why would this circumstance have occurred? So apparently this is something you're familiar with. Why was this such a problem for you in the moment, if not for race? What I will say is that maybe she's scary. You know, I don't necessarily know what was in her mind. So if I want to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that, oh, I'm not racist, if I want to give you that benefit of the doubt, okay, wouldn't it be apparent based on his perspective, from his experience, how that could be A, perceived as such, and B, now when the evidence has hit the light of day and you have the Officer Tatums of the world spinning this and accusing him of being a social justice warrior by virtue of, I guess, going home and this circumstance happening to him. I'm not sure when the warriordom kicked in. I don't know if that was his intention at the time. Well, you think he would drive in the neighborhood, wait until somebody was like in that position to launch his social justice warriordom? Was that the idea? Like she just happened to be the mark? Is that what we're going with? You have people like Officer Tatum presenting this in the way where you are the victim for being in his yard, not believing him, run off screaming through the neighborhood and calling police. If the initial wasn't racist, you tell me what this is now.
Like I said, nothing you could say at that point that was going to get me to trust that this really was this person's house. And I ran. So that night we truly thought it was squashed. They did not accept the apology. My husband was like, get in the truck. You know, this isn't
They didn't accept it. They didn't accept it on the spot when you guys were in that video. Because I heard you apologize, and everybody heard you apologize on that video. So
wait a minute, Officer Tatum. So you telling me you heard them apologize on the video, but you didn't hear the response to their apology on the video? So like, did you somehow scrub the video only for what the white family said? Is that, they got crazy technology, police these days. They really, that is impressive. I didn't know so they could scrub the whole video and only be presented with the white people side. That would explain a lot, actually. That would actually explain a lot, because I think one of the reasons why we get some of these stances that are so confusing from law enforcement, I think that's something that they leave on accidentally. I think some people just don't even see the full evidence. That would make more sense than what I've been seeing.
What happened from there that night, we were not made aware that it was a continued issue. We had no idea. We left it there. I even ran the turkey trot by his house 3 times in November with my daughter. Like, I totally thought that this was just something that was in the past. I said sorry, like truly, like I thought it was in the past. And so it was a couple mornings, a week and a half ago maybe, that I was sitting here, I was reading my Bible, I was studying, and my husband walks in.
You reading her Bible? Were you playing gospel too? Yeah, I was reading my gospel. I was playing gospel. You have a pie in the oven? Yeah, I had pie. I had a pie in the oven, and the kids were napping, and I'm just sitting there reading my Bible. And I had some glasses on my forehead. I had an apron on, and I was wearing my slippers that they had given me for Christmas. Best mom ever. That's what I was wearing. Now, we did get into a bit of I have black friends here.
This is our community, and this is a small community. It's it's like a new urbanism community, where everybody knows your name. It's like Cheers in here, and literally like one of my best friends, me and my boys. He's a black guy. We work out every single day together, dude. He's my business partner in here. We did vacation last year. Our neighbors right next door, you know, our daughters are best friends. She's black. So like to see these things and they know who we are and who our friends are and are very community saying those things about us. Man, it was a case of ostracism that, man, I've never experienced in my life, and it sucked.
Yeah, we're trying really hard not to even have to mention our friends that are black. Like we want to keep
I don't even like saying that, because like, those are just my friends, you know.
And I
but
don't
then I
have
have
to
like
bring other people into any of this.
But I actually appreciated the husband's response. We're not trying to bring other people into this, because they're just our friends. But you did. But you. I heard it.
This stuff can be destructive, especially when someone is doing things to gain financial recognition. And you guys are just a regular family, working hard, entrepreneur, American dream, got the house and the kids, just trying to make a living like any other American. And then you got a guy who's an opportunistic person who took this situation and blew it up past its proportion, in my opinion. So, you know, I just wanted to get y'all's story out and let people know that you guys are humans and you're good people. And I've heard people have reached out to me and I haven't heard anything negative about you guys.
But you can't say the same for him now, can you, Officer Tatum? That's why you got rolls of these videos that you've been dropping on him. Who would have thought? You know, who would have thought Officer Tatum would have came out on her side? Now, here it is. At the end of the day, I'll go back to what I said at the beginning of this, okay? I don't know what was in her heart. I don't know what her intentions were in that moment. But I do know how this has been spun by the likes of Officer Tatum. Whatever level of racism you apply to Michelle Bishop in this moment, his is at least double.